big things. John Baird House was made up of 8 masonettes on the first floor and 8 on the ground floor. You had 1 masonette per family, or 2 or 3 families shared. The main entrance was at the front of the building, and all the front doors overlooked the concrete courtyards and garages. Railings ran up the stairs and along the first floor, but the railings were too wide to be safe, big enough for a toddler to fit through. While we were living there, something happened, something that made them change those big wide railings. We used to play games down on the concrete garages underneath the first floor corridor. All the kids living in the shelter would play out together. At the time there were 2 little boys called David and Gavin. David was lovely, angelic looking boy with blonde hair. He was the apple of his mum's eye, but his brother Gavin was constantly picked on. One day David was playing peekaboo through the railings on the first floor. He kept on poking his head through those railings. We started to get scared because he thought it was fun, but the railings were too wide and he was high up over the concrete floor. We started shouting at him not to do it and calling out for his mum. I told David to go and find his mum, hoping that it would make him stop playing the peekaboo game. But because we were talking to him and he was getting our attention, he wouldn't stop. He pushed himself through the railings and let go. We ran over to where we thought he was going to land and tried to catch him. He landed on his back. His head was cracked open from the fall. We screamed for help, but no one came. We all gathered around him, staring down, helpless, just kids. David looked up smiling, with blood and fluid leaking from his head. We tried to stop him, we tried to catch him, but that beautiful blonde head of hair was cracked and brown with blood. David died from his injuries. After David's death, the council made the railings solid. Since that day, anything involving heads really turns my stomach. It makes me think about David. I often think about David, the angelic little boy with beautiful blonde hair playing a peekaboo game through the railings. Gavin was always picked on, and worse by his mum, and I couldn't help thinking at the time that Gavin was going to have a shit life. It wasn't his fault. It used to make me feel really sad.